This idea, this gold mine idea, landed on me in December of 2023. And it's the biggest game changer idea in personal development I think there is out there. I haven't seen it taught anywhere else, but it is so simple and it is so vital to your success. Hi, everybody. I'm Diane Armitage, and welcome back to the Catalyst Code, where we crack the internal code that creates the external result. I'm your host, and after 27 years as Bob Proctor's writing partner and protege, I've been helping people all over the world step into their greatness and create better in their worlds, whatever that better may be. Each week, Catalyst Code teaches you how to activate momentum, rewire your mind, and create results that stick. You are the catalyst. This is the code. So let's go. And this week, it's a big one. This is a really, really big one. This could be one of the biggest lessons, one of the biggest things you have ever heard in your life. Now, isn't it amazing how one idea that you actually act on can set you on a new life trajectory? In most cases, you don't even recognize how big that catalyst is until the moment is long past, right? In episode 2 here in the Catalyst Code, I talked about the day I met Bob Proctor. It was a catalyst kind of day. It was more than 30 years ago. He was speaking at our REMAX convention, and I was supposed to get him from his keynote to his workshop. And as he and I walked the long convention hall, I blurted out that I was thinking of starting my own freelance writing company. And he told me that I should do it. That was it. But in that nanosecond, it opened a door of possibility in my mind. Now, did I go home and resign? Oh, no. Why would I make it that easy on myself? I had this marvelous idea. I had just received a thumbs up from the Jedi Master of all Jedi Masters. He thought it was a great idea, and he didn't even know me. I came home from that convention with a new goal in my mind. But it took me 14 months to actually act. And Bob even had to meet with me another time in person to nudge me along. And it still took 14 months. Now, if you have a big idea, if you have a big goal for your business, you might have been thinking about it, even acting in some way on it for months now, maybe even years, but you're still not at the finish line. All kinds of stuff has come up to block you, to stall you, to make you second guess the decision on this thing. Well, today I'm going to tell you how to dodge those tackle blockers. Now, I get it. A lot of personal development teachers and coaches out there promise to get you past the tackle blockers in your life. And it hasn't happened. Not so much. So why would this be different? Because we're simply rewiring what you already possess. This is not an addition you're adding to the house of you. This is figuring out how to change up the efficiencies of what you've already got. Because the fact is, right now, at this moment, you are capable of doing something absolutely spectacular. I don't care how old you are. I don't care where you are in life right now. You can pole vault over any obstacle or challenge that has so far stood in the way of realizing your biggest goals. You can improve your effectiveness and efficiency in a single day. I have seen it happen. You can quantum leap your business revenues with a lot less effort immediately. You can seriously shatter any record you've ever accomplished as an individual, as a success-minded owner, as a business-minded team. But you may be thinking that you've got to wait to see what the economy does, what the stock market is doing. You've got to wait now till you get through the summer school season or the holidays. You may think you've got to wait till you just have more time. You just need more money. You just need to get that other job, because really starting something now would be too time consuming or intense. But here's the best news I'm going to tell you today. You already have access to a power to achieve whatever you can imagine easily and quickly. A new business, an expanding wealth portfolio, vastly improved health, an amazing relationship. You've already got the power. You're not anywhere close to starting from scratch. Bob Proctor used to say, if you can hold it in your head, you can hold it in your hand. And I'm here to tell you, you already have it built within you. The power to hold the whole world in your hands. Today, I'm going to teach you about your built-in tower of power. It's time to flip the switch. Turn this hidden resource into your most powerful ally so that you can craft faster, sharper decisions and actions that drive your growth, your business growth, your money flow, your personal goals. This isn't just another self-improvement tool. It's your secret weapon for fast tracking your success. Now, a few months ago, I had the most extraordinary experience. My dear friend Nelson Coates asked me to come up to downtown LA, we call it DTLA, to see, well, basically the results of his Tower of Power in play. His entire creation of the Emmy Award-winning show, The Morning Show, with Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon on Apple TV. Now, they're working on the final polish of the 4th season now, and they hired Nelson from the 2nd season forward to create everything in the show. Now, this is big, everything in the show. When I arrived those few months ago, he had transformed an entire 2-block area in downtown LA to Manhattan, New York, down to signage replacement on the streets and trash cans and yellow cabs with New York's most recent branding and the little ad things on top and the placards that advertise people or places in New York, even towers for subway venting at the street corners. But he mainly wanted me to see the giant edifice that he had created for me, the Armitage Cafe. The Armitage Cafe. He created it in honor of all the work I do as a restaurant consultant and food reviewer. That's another side of my life. And it was amazing. And then he took us over to Sony Studios, where the morning show has taken over 2 giant studios, the size of like Costco warehouses. And he showed us set after set after set after set, imagineered, completely out of ether, out of nowhere. Office cubicles down to the pencil cups, the executive offices, the green room, the massive engineering room, the stage for the newscasters, the home of the primary stars, the condo that serves as Jennifer Aniston's condo overlooking the Hudson River. It's pretty much actual size. I could live there. It's a sprawling, beautiful place with paintings and furnishings and bookends and wines and the towering wine refrigerator. This all came from Nelson's mind. He was given a script and he created an entire world. An entire world. This guy is dialed into his own built-in tower of power. He creates entire sets in a single day, and they are all designed with these movable walls and these paintings that wheel out to make room for the cameras. He designs it all and builds it all with a crew of like 50 or 60 people that he oversees every day. Now, I was thinking last night of the hundreds of people who were there, all employed because Nelson has brought this imaginary world into reality. He is the production designer, the head cheese managing director over all of it. Well, I'm here today to introduce you to the managing director over it all in your life, over it all in your life, your world. This internal director doesn't just oversee, it is driving or stalling every major decision in your business, your wealth, and your life. From every move you make to every outcome you see, your tower of power is behind it. It's behind it all, moving or not moving the pieces into play, even while you sleep. Isn't it time to take control of this powerful resource? I mean, you've already got it. Let me show you what this is all about. Now, I'm actually going to distribute this worksheet at my website, dianearmitageblog.com, but I'm putting it up here to help you follow along. All right. So let's start with this. You have 6 intellectual factors. Now, they're all listed here on this sheet: intuition, imagination, will, memory, perception, and reason. Your reasoning mind. These are the 6 factors that separate us from any other living physical creature, including plants, protein bars, panda bears. These factors are gifts that have been given to you to assist you in making decisions and taking actions on a new idea, because you have been given the ability to choose how you're going to direct your life. No other creature has that ability. Now, Bob Proctor used to say something like, we're the highest form of creation. We've been given these 6 mental faculties to create our own environment. We have perception, will, reason, imagination, memory, and intuition. And he explains all 6 of these in less than 6 minutes in a YouTube video or a class presentation, and then he just moves on. So today it's time to explain what he landed on that just needs a little more explanation, a little more walk down the path to reveal an absolute gold mine in your life. This idea, this gold mine idea, landed on me in December of 2023. And it's the biggest game changer idea in personal development I think there is out there. I haven't seen it taught anywhere else, but it is so simple and it is so vital to your success. So your 6 intellectual factors, they actually work together to form your tower of power. Now, why do I call this a tower? Well, I realize that these 6 factors are not all equal, not even close. They too are somewhat positioned or locked in from a lower vibration to a higher vibration, thus the tower that you saw in the sheet. You see intuition and imagination at the top. These are your highest faculties because they're not just mental faculties. They are spiritual faculties, meaning that they are the highest energetic form of you. I've said it before and I'll say it again. You are all energy. You're a mass of energetic molecules moving at a high rate of vibration. You are constantly throwing off energy. You are directly connected to all of the energy from ground level to the limitless ether above, the stuff that Einstein used to talk about. Now, when you're playing in the intuitive and imaginative realms, you're not operating at a human level. You're operating in the 4th dimension. You're seeing from the energetic side of all things. You're creating from the endless energetic side of all things. So remember in the movie The Matrix, one of the finest movies ever to delve into creating your world as you see fit. Now, if you'll remember at the end of The Matrix, Neo, played by Keanu Reeves, is cornered by the agents, you know, the machines, and he's in this big long hall. In the moment when he would normally turn and run from them in an attempt to save his life, he sees them for what they really are. And he sees himself, the energetic, living core of himself, for what he really is. And in an instant, he is no longer operating at the human level, the human who existed on the physical plane in the Matrix. He has escaped the real world matrix, right? And he's operating from his energetic core with an understanding that he is now able and always has been able to create his own reality now from the energetic side of all things. He began to see it. He began to feel it. He began to be it. So intuition and imagination, these factors play at will with and in the energetic ether. Now, the remaining mental or intellectual factors fill in the rest of the tower. So let's jump down here to the bottom. Reason. Your reasoning mind is at the bottom. It's the foundation. And while it is the most base of the 6 faculties, it also wields an extraordinary amount of power when it comes to acting on a brand new idea. Because your reasoning mind can actually take down all the other faculties above it on the list. It can even mess with your imagination. It can even mess with your intuition if you let it. Reason is how you form your beliefs about yourself. about how you interact with other people, about what you can achieve or not achieve, about how much money you can make or not make. Your reasoning mind, it's a two-part entity that first forms the belief in the conscious mind and then creates a real life reality from that belief. That happens in the subconscious mind. It forms the belief in your conscious mind. Your subconscious mind creates your reality based on that belief it has been fed. Let me give you an example. Introverts and extroverts. Which one are you? Okay, now look at how easily that came to you. Why? Because you formed a belief about yourself on this subject years ago. In fact, you didn't even come up with it yourself. You had people around you telling you that you were an introvert or an extrovert. Until that point, you probably had never even heard the words or knew what they meant, right? When I was a kid, I was very gregarious and talkative. Imagine that. But then I had teachers tell my parents that I was too chatty in the classroom. This happened often enough that I, 2 years later, was labeled an introvert. Now, it really wasn't a fit for me, but I believed that ever since, until Bob told me just a few years ago that it was time to dump that belief because it was time for me to start coaching and speaking. Okay, so to repeat, this is important. Your reasoning mind, it's a two-part entity. It's your conscious and your subconscious mind. Your conscious mind is your reasoning mind. It takes in all kinds of thoughts and ideas, and it makes decisions about those ideas and how you're going to interact with your environment. These decisions become your beliefs. Now, many of these beliefs truly do keep you safe. Don't run in front of cars. Don't put your hand on a hot stove. Don't go skydiving without a parachute. But many of the beliefs in that head of yours are just a pile of other people's beliefs. You're not as smart as your brother. You're not fast enough to make the team. Money doesn't what? Grow on trees. Now, why do we all know that phrase? Because we've heard it a million times. We weren't the ones who came to that initial conclusion about money. Somebody else did many years ago, but we heard it enough that we began to believe it too. So here's this new belief decided by your reasoning mind. And what happens to that new belief, good or bad? Whoop, down into the subconscious mind. And just like planting a seed in the earth, the subconscious has one job in your life. Create a reality from that seed of a belief. Create your tree of your life from the seed that you have planted. It may not be right for you. It may not even be your belief. But nevertheless, it has found its way to that fertile soil of your mind, and your subconscious mind simply grows its own garden of you. Over the years, it's created a great harvest of beliefs, habitual thought patterns, what we call paradigms, that have created your current reality of your life. Now, what does this have to do with your Tower of Power? Well, your habitual thought patterns, like your life, just the way it is. Safe. No surprises. So when you show up with your tail wagging, all excited about a big new idea that you're going to put in place in your life or in your business, in place with your team, with people who work with you, with people you love, what happens? Well, your reasonable mind, the reasonable mindset of your team, well, it's suggested that you just be reasonable. How many times have you heard your own self talk to yourself? Okay, let's be reasonable about this. You don't even know how to do that. Why would you even entertain such a crazy idea? Your reasoning mind is pragmatic. It's wise. And it messes with all the other mental faculties all the way up the line, a sort of vertical domino effect. So let's start with how it messes with your perception, which is next up from your reasoning mind. I did an entire episode on this, episode 3, on my big, huge dog, Merlin, and his perception versus my perception. But a super quick review here. Say something happens in your life. You lose a contract. Someone else gets the promotion. Someone else gets the love of your life. All of these happenings, they are facts. What really matters, though, is what you do next after the fact occurs. And that is, what is the meaning that you are attaching to this happening, this fact? This becomes your perception. And your perception of the fact, the happening, changes your entire life story, your entire trajectory. And in most cases, that perception factor is not working in your favor. Next up the tower from the bottom is memory. All of your memories are tied to your perception. What you remember about the facts of your life, the happenings, the events, the good, the bad, the ugly, the magnificent, all of those memories are what either see you lifting up into a better and better life because your perception of you is strong and confident, or squashing yourself down to just having a life the way it's always been. Got that? Okay, moving on up, then there's will. Bob Proctor said this might be the most significant mental tool in your toolbox because if you're going to win at anything, you have to stay focused on it. You have to drill your will into that focus. The will here in this tower of power, it's your pivot point in this entire lineup. So many people will say they're willing. They are committed. They want this change in their lives. And they build this great vision with just a few escape hatches added in along the way, just to be on the safe side. And when obstacles or circumstances occur to test that commitment, bam, they hit those escape hatches. Why? Because of that built-in belief all the way down there, the reasoning mind. Well, that just doesn't make sense. That's going to take you too long. You're out of your cotton-picking mind. Your reasoning mind can reach all the way up into your will and stop the new idea. Next is imagination. In order to bring what you want there to here in your reality, you got to be really clear on what you think there is. What does your life look like there? This is where your imagination steps up to bat. It's absolutely vital to build a crystal clear picture of the end result you wish to live. Because when you're able to build the image of your goal actually being accomplished, when you really clarify what it is you will be living, you begin living from an assumption. Remember, I talked about that a couple episodes ago? You live from an assumption. It's going your way. It becomes an expectation of its arrival. This is already yours. Now, up here at the very top is your intuition. Now, this and imagination, remember, these are what I call your spiritual or energetic factors because they are your powerful creators and catalysts of and behind your new idea. You know how the best ideas always just seem to come in for a landing right out of the blue? Sometimes we call it light bulb moments. Well, why do we think you use that image? Because with a simple flick, the light of a new idea will flood the darkness. Throughout all humankind, we submit to laboring along, thinking this is just the way it's got to be. And then that light, that magnificent idea, floods the current reality. It floods the darkness. Your intuition is the built-in factor that reminds you who you really are. You're not a puny human in a physical body. You are an energetic spirit, always interacting with all the energy around you. You're always creating reality in your life from what started as a simple energetic blip of an idea. Once you're conscious of this intuitive energetic source already housed within you, you begin to recognize all the times you've already created a reality from a desire you had. You've already done it hundreds of times. Think about it. And once you recognize this within you, you just figured out how to punch your own ticket. Because you've been doing it unconsciously all this time anyway. Imagine doing this consciously again and again and again. What do you think you'll find happening in your life? Limitless, vast access, new opportunities, acres of diamonds under your feet. You see, this is the golden truth right here. I'm going to tell you right now how to take a huge idea and expand upon that idea into action so that you're actually harnessing your built-in power in the right sequence and direction to quickly change the trajectory of your life. Notice I said sequence and direction. This is key in understanding your built-in tower of power, because here's where 97% of the world's population gets it wrong. Now, bear with me. See if this might have sounded like you at some point in your life. You take that glorious new idea, that glorious big goal that has generated from your intuitive mind. Your eager imagination has immediately stepped into play to grow and expand on the idea. And now you're already seeing what this idea will do for you in your life, in your family's life, in your company's life, with all the people who work with you. It's big. You're excited. And then you take that beautiful idea that's been all bolstered with your beautiful imagination, and you take it all the way to the bottom where your reasoning mind hangs out. You know, the let's be reasonable mind that's stuffed full of all those habitual patterns of already running your carefully sorted, safe life. Why would you do this? Why would you do this? How could you do this? How? But this is where most people go. They feel this bright, beautiful nudge, and they immediately say, well, let's see how. Let's ask why it's me that needs to be doing this. I mean, there are so many worthier people out there. Let me go hang out with my reasoning mind for a while and see how we can try to make this happen when there are all these people greater than me who clearly have already figured it out. This grand idea that you have co-created with all of the cooperative life force and energy there is, you've rock skipped it all the way down to the reasoning mind and asked it to help you get it done? No. As that famous line from Pretty Woman notes, big mistake, big mistake. Your reasoning mind isn't interested in creating a new belief for you. It likes your current beliefs just the way you are. It's gathered a lot of facts and a lot of information to make those beliefs true for you. So true for you that they have, in fact, fashioned every aspect of your current reality. And now here you are with this wild hair idea, asking how. And it just looks at you blandly and bops that new idea right off the court. So what do you do instead? You start instead at the top of your tower of power, and you work your way down. Work your way down. You start at the top of your tower of power and work your way down, starting with all the help from pure energetic source energy that sees you as its energetic equal. It sees you as this powerful catalyst, a person or thing that precipitates an event. That is what a catalyst is, a person or thing that precipitates an event, your new idea. You start from the top down with all the help and support from your inner guidance system, your intuition. You're building the bridge down. Your intuition spurs the artist in you, the imaginative forces of you, the co-creator of your destiny, the spirit of you. You begin to paint the entire picture with your imagination, bathed in colors from this source here coming down, not from your reasoning mind. And as you paint the picture, you begin to see yourself in it. And to an even greater degree, you understand that you do actually deserve this, that this is your path, that this is your destiny. You are seeing it. You are feeling it. You are being it. You are Neo at the end of that hall. You are consciously managing the direction, your assumption of success. And this is where will comes in. All of this above is funneling powerfully into the channel that is your will. And your committed will is the shining lighthouse beacon that connects with the law of vibration. This is where like energy attracts like energy. You're not building in escape hatches. That is low vibration energy. You are coming from this powerful source, creator, catalyst of you. Like energy, attracting like energy. It's not woo-woo. It's not smoke and mirrors. It's physics. And as your will steps in to carry and secure this energetic light bulb idea forward, there's so much focused energy and motion that now the idea is moving forward at this accelerated rate, at this accelerated pace in the quantum field. Notice your will isn't even wrestling with all the stuff below, burbling up from the reasoning mind. It is girding itself from your higher grounded place of knowing and assumption. The energetic will of you sheds its light on everything that lies below. Your will reminds your memories of all the mighty, mighty wins and the serendipities and the progress in your life that you've already created, that you've already accomplished. Your will also beams a powerful light on your perception that everything goes your way. You assume that everything is going your way. It's the positive attitude with the feeling tone back of it. When you let it, your perception feeds back to you that you are a one-of-a-kind energetic being on this planet with a destiny to change this planet. I don't care what this idea of yours is. You are changing the planet with its creation. You have the choice to perceive what you wish to perceive. You're consciously skewing your attention, your focus, your perception. You are directing what is already built in. And at last, as you continue flowing down from this perspective, you have arrived at the reasoning mind. And now the reasoning mind is actually open and accepting to the idea. Why is your conscious mind suddenly accepting instead of resisting? Because you, powerful, limitless, all the energy there is, you are the one directing that new idea from the ether to your conscious mind. You are directing from your built-in tower of power. All the right order. You've already solidified the belief as you've worked your way down the tower. And anytime a solid as stone belief arrives in the atmosphere of the conscious part of your reasoning mind, the reasoning mind doesn't have the opportunity to question or mull or create its own conclusions. The belief is moving forward with so much momentum that your conscious mind just accepts it as truth. The door is open. Reverend Michael Beckwith, some of you may know him or have seen him in the movie The Secret. As Reverend Michael once said in a sermon on a Sunday, he said, "You have risen up from reasonable thinking and are allowing real thinking to emerge. You're letting real thinking have its right of way as you consciously nurture your new idea with your intuitive guidance, as you color and build out the idea with your imagination, as you bring that new idea under the protective wing of your will, as your will continues to carry the new idea through the memory movies of your life. One triumph after another. This is all we need to talk and think about. Your perception of your many successes, one success after another, always supported, always guided. This idea is always supported and always guided. You are always getting it right. You're always changing the planet. You're always creating more ripples on the planet. This is why you are here. Energetic expansion, energetic expression, creating a life of your choosing. your business your way, your wealth, your abundance your way, life your way. This is what your built-in Tower of Power is here for. You are the production designer. You're the one creating your world your way. You've already got the power. You've already got the power. Let's get it working for you. This is the key. This is how you build the new belief, take action, and create your preferred reality, period. All in one. Here's how to leverage your internal Tower of Power to make faster, sharper decisions with the staying power to drive lasting growth, abundance, and success. It's everything you need to step into the legendary leader's position that you've deserved all this time for you, for your life. I want to ask you to be sure to bookmark this episode somewhere in your world. You may want to watch it a few times. My Catalyst clients, my one-on-one clients, they watch this on a weekly basis, sometimes on a daily basis. And I know I'm going to be referring to your Tower of Power as I develop more podcast episodes, because it all comes down to this one defining universal solution. Learn to consciously work your Tower of Power correctly, and absolutely nothing will be able to stand in your way. Thank you for joining me on today's Catalyst Code. Please like, share this powerful information with your friends, and subscribe at my YouTube channel for the Catalyst Code. And I'll see you next week with more of the code. Your Tower of Power is waiting. Feed it the new idea and make it a big idea.